Hey yo, I'm Flynt.
And I'm Lena.
Welcome back to Queer Dice Rolls, the podcast where two queer, neurodivergent, and chronically ill bards try working out their pasts, identities, and problems, one conversation at a time.
Join us as we, once again, fail our deception checks and share just a little too much.
Hi, Lena.
Hi, Flynt.
We're back.
We're back, and we're off the boat.
We're off the boat, which is, I'm impressed we got it in one episode.
I know. I remember feeling in that campaign like we were never ever gonna get off that boat.
Mm-hmm.
And that we were never gonna do anything with the plot.
Oh, yeah. I certainly felt like we had made a mistake very solidly at some point.
I know. I feel like the jungle travel would not have taken that long, but knowing us, I'm sure we would have gotten sidetracked.
But it was really interesting. I enjoyed everything that Bardis did on the boat, and I enjoyed all of the character work we did on the boat, and all the different kinds of encounters we had. Very cool. And it seems to be the theme with this campaign. Now for something completely different, both in tone and mechanic.
Yep.
There's not really we didn't do so much of the wild encounters table as much.
No.
Now it's like there are events happening around you. Which direction do you go?
Yes, because Bardis, as they've said, simulates the world. You know, like you do when you run campaign. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, you got to tell me where you go because I know exactly what's going on.
Yep.
And then you're just going to run into it.
Well, as expected, there were not nearly as many corrections, but we still do have some things that we got wrong. So we'll be back to talk about the Southern adventures in Cholt.
But first, a word from our characters. Welcome to our newest segment, Corrections, where we correct anything that we, fucked up.
Or forgot.
That's true. So, this week, we have corrections from both Buck and Bardis. So, here we go. Oh, you're first.
Anatha was a mastermind rogue, not sure if the Inquisitive subclass was even out then. Kayleen's dream started with the two of them having tea before he transitioned into being at the university in Lanton.
Kayleen insisted his alchemically manufactured dough tasted fine and would not make you sick, but he did not roll well to make the dough. He just has a really good constitution. And he also rolled low on the presentation. So it was a bad pastry for Mirth. But he did make the dough many other times well for the party, and he did call it Nimdo. Oh, it's me again. The hags are called the Sohn sisters. They're Widow Groat, the one with the coins and the ants, Peggy Deadbells, the one with the teeth with the cries of children, and Baggy Nana, who has a bag over her head.
The first encounter on the boat was actually Sahuanjin, led by a rare mutant form that looks like a sea elf, a Malinti.
Oh, hey there. This is Welly. You haven't heard me in a while. Yeah, I'm here. Shaylin, Dawn's weapon, in its dormant form, was a bow staff, shod with a strange metal and carved with depictions of worshippers of Elistrae, who is a drow goddess.
Hello, this is Soul. The Orin language is actually the primordial language of the plane of air. There's a variety of unique Aarakocra languages beyond Orin, and some are even specific to Cholt.
Hi, it's me, Les. The plastron on the dragon tittle is actually the belly plates of the tittle.
Hey, this is Havoc. Upteo isn't a god. He's a primordial, like an ancient elemental form before the gods came to Abir. And he made a pact with the gods to guard the prison of another primordial, and in return, they would stay out of Chult and let Upteo influence it as he willed. The people of Omu turned away from Upteo and worshipped the beast lords, and that's why Omu was quote-unquote forbidden.
And it's me closing out our segment. The liminal dungeon with the Beholder was just where River first ran into a Sunblade. River did not get one for himself until the Fire Dungeon under Shilku Bay, which we're going to talk about in this episode, where you fought the super hard lava-vomiting owlbear, and everyone got items themed after Buck's campaign that he led in Riverside, which is a town that he made up. First we had the campaign where Voltaire and Nakata are from there. The Sunblade that River got was themed after Bardis's character from that campaign, and Zaid took a telekinetic shield that had Welly on it. Thank you for listening to this week's corrections. Let's move on with the episode, shall we?
And we're back.
We're back. So, are you ready?
As ready as I can be.
All right, let's step off that boat. So we got to Shilku Bay, and the first thing that we decided to tackle was to get our guide, Musharib, back home.
Right, because he had been sick as a fucking dog the whole trip, so we felt real bad.
We did. And he didn't know, like, fully what was going on with his people. And, like, why they had left the mine, I think?
Yeah, and I mean, one of the most obvious things when we stepped off the boat, if you recall, was that, like, there used to be, like, there was obviously, like, some sort of town where we were.
Yeah.
And there was just lava and, like, fire creatures and all of that everywhere, as we said last episode. Like, that was the first thing you could see when you stepped off.
Yeah. And basically right after we landed, we fought a kobold hunting party because they were attacking a flail snail.
That was when we had, like, made our way through, because we tried to avoid all the fire creatures in the town itself that was kind of seemed really treacherous, so we tried to get into the jungle and get around all of that.
Yeah, and I think we were, like, heading towards that volcano that was, like, erupting.
Yes, because isn't that where he said stuff was, or was that towards Hakamar?
So the volcano's, like, in the Shilku Bay kind of town area. It's nearby, but that's where everybody had taken shelter that he'd, like, last heard of, I think. So we were heading there. We ran into these kobolds, like, attacking this flail snail, and it made a really bad noise.
Yeah, it was really loud. But the flail snail was really interesting. Like, look it up if you guys can, because it looks really cool.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
And it's, like, almost psychedelic type colors. And they were hunting it, and it was making a racket. So I remember that Kayleen wanted to get pieces of it, and we didn't stay and get a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, because it was, like, too loud. Mm-hmm. It was like that episode of Farscape we just watched on the when he's, like, that sound on the sound plane of Moya. I don't know.
Yeah, so to age myself, Farscape's one of my like, comfort shows, and so I've been rewatching it with Lena.
It's great. It's fantastic show. Yeah. I didn't watch a lot of sci-fi growing up.
It was on the Sci-Fi Channel with it's actually produced by Jim Henson. So lots of amazing puppetry, really cool characters, and neat alien design and stuff.
And fantastic acting. It's great. Anyway, so
John Crichton's one of my favorite, like, leading men in that genre.
Crichton. Yes, so Kayleen wanted to harvest a bunch of stuff from this poor snail, and we were all like, no, we can't hurry up,
it is screeching.
Yeah, because they, like, make this terrible sound when they're, like, dying, I think.
Yeah.
So we got to the volcano, and Musharib is from, like, a tribe of albino dwarves, and they were trying to reclaim Rakamar, which is the mine where he's from, that we ended up going to.
Right.
and we met. That's right. We met Barend, who is the dwarf who gave us safety third.
Yes, yeah, but that was like later.
Yeah.
Like, because we met everybody else. Because I just even remember we were here for a hot second, like in terms of game like playtime.
Yeah.
Because when we got off, there was so much fire stuff, and we had up to this point like really not upgraded our gear.
No, because we were on a boat. Like we couldn't.
And so there was a really good blacksmith there.
Yes.
And I know that Zaid and Mirth, like we spent a lot of time trying to upgrade everybody's gear so that they wouldn't just immediately die to fire.
Yeah, because you were the only person who had anything fire resistant, right? Because you're fire resistant.
I myself am fire resistant, yes.
Yeah, so y'all were crafting. I think Kayleen was crafting separate stuff, and then Adon and River were like cooking mostly.
Yes.
But that was like a significant chunk of downtime.
Yeah, because I think Adon and River were helping because the dwarves were having a really hard time with food. Because they weren't able to gather because of all of the like hunting parties and other things that had been happening.
Yeah. And it was just like they couldn't defend themselves.
And eventually they were like, we'll help you if you go find Beethan.
Yeah, that's right. So it was like a lot of time. There were a lot of really cool NPCs there.
Yes.
And they're well, that's later. Sorry, I was getting ahead of myself there. So we found all of them, spent a lot of they were very hospitable. They're all like very, very kind and let us use a lot of their resources.
That's also when we found out I think the Musharib was in exile.
Yes. There was drama.
There was drama.
There was tea. Cold tea.
Very cold tea.
And he had like an ex like girlfriend or wife there, I think too, who was like the leader. It was
his sister or his wife.
I can't remember.
But it was somebody it was a woman who was very close to him that was like pissed.
Yeah.
Just pissed at him for leaving.
Yeah. So there was some good drama. And then after y'all upgraded our gear, we were like, okay, we're going to go and try and essentially take back your home so you guys can go back. Because it was the volcano that they were in was also getting hotter.
Yes, because they were having a really hard time, like with food, but also like it was getting uncomfortable for them to live there. And there was something wrong with it because it didn't normally spew lava. And
I don't know if it was now or when we eventually came back this way to like let them know to go home that it had like some weird magical aura or something.
No, it had the magical aura.
Yeah, because you could like Mirth could see that. I think you're the only one with like see invisibility or anything like that.
I think Kayleen has detect magic.
Okay.
But
I'm sure a combo of both of you were like, it's weird here.
Yes.
So we spent a lot of time there, made some really cool stuff. You made some secret gifts.
I did. I made secret things.
And then we decided
secret things that I've been planning for a very long time.
I know.
Like everything else in the game.
Yeah, in your fashion. And so we went towards Rakamar, the mine. Musharib was with us, I think.
I think he was still leading us, I believe.
Yeah, because he knew exactly where to go. So I think Adon would like help him track, but he knew where he was going. And we ran into lots of fire newts, lots of giant striders.
Yes.
Those
were hard fights.
What can you describe kind of what those are? I don't quite remember. I
thought the striders were like some like in my head there's some sort of like dinosaur bird thing like that they rode, but I don't know if that's correct. That's just what is stored in my brain.
No, you're right.
Haha.
It's like a dinosaur with like it looks like just really small wing arms and then like legs and like a long tail. Yeah. It's like a bird dino. Yeah. So they would ride them, and I think we rode them at some point, but I don't remember.
I don't know.
And Zaid disguised himself as a fire newt at one point, so that, like, during a fight, to help us get, like, a surprise round, which was really fun.
Yes, he was a very tiny fire newt.
Because he's, like, what, 2'6"?
No, I think he's like 3 feet or
3
whatever,
feet.
but, like...
There's a tiny fire.
Still, a halfling is smaller than a fire newt.
So that was a really fun fight. I remember
it being hard.
It took a long time. It might have taken 2 sessions.
Yeah, because there were so many of them, and they had, like, tactics and stuff, and that was before... Truly, it was before we really hit our stride fighting together, because we practiced in the liminal space on the boat, but we had never really been challenged for realsies, so I remember that fight being really hard.
Yeah, and it just, like, really made us get it together a little bit and start talking about...
I think that was kind of the point.
Yeah.
From Bardis was like, hey, you're out here and you guys are way higher level than you should be. Get it together.
Yeah. And when we were getting a lot closer, we explored a bunch of caves that were nearby. And this is something I didn't remember at all, but we apparently discovered a meeting between somebody from Cholt wearing a gold mask.
That was when we went in the volcano, like we went in some other place in the volcano, is what I remember.
Really?
Yeah.
You're probably right. Because then he just, like, went away. He, like, teleported away.
Well, it's because Dawn tried to murder him.
As she does.
He didn't just teleport away. She, like, so it was a meeting in a gold mask and between them and the fire newts, right?
Yes.
And it was like, because we were trying to see what was going on with the volcano. And at least this is how I remember it. And this was our first attempt to try to see what was going on. And this was like some cave system we found. And,
okay, great.
I don't remember why Adon decided to shoot him, but...
It's honestly really in character. Mm-hmm. If someone's doing something, like, minorly threatening, she's just like, not on my watch.
Yeah.
So, if this could possibly hurt my friends, it's not happening.
Yep. But then after that, I think we went into the jungle because we needed to go to Hrakamar.
Yeah,
right?
we, like, traveled a long way. I didn't really have any notes about other things that happened in the jungle besides your special thing.
Well, we saw that nightmare.
Oh my god. I'm having a nightmare, a living nightmare right now thinking about that. That was so scary. That was, like, the first thing I remember in, like, this part of the game that really creeped
so,
me
like,
out.
that night we
were in your tiny hut.
Yeah, we were in the tiny hut and we saw this, like, in the jungle, some sort of... So it's like a unicorn type thing, but it's dark and corrupted.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, it just is, it's like oozes evil, essentially. And there was this figure riding the back of it. Do you remember what the figure looked like? I just remember that moment.
I know that it was, like, it had an army of skeletons, but it wasn't a skeleton itself. I know that it was bald, I think.
Was it a Thayan?
I don't know.
Maybe it was a Thayan.
That is characteristic of a Thayan, but it wasn't wearing red robes.
But I don't think we ever found out who it was.
No, we haven't. Not yet.
Because we encountered them again later in a very terrifying, like, remember when we were going into the valley?
Yes.
This is before that. Like, we saw the night bear, like, before that.
Yeah, we just saw it.
Like,
and
off
nothing
in the distance, and nothing happened. But while we were traveling, had we met the kobolds yet? I think it was pretty soon.
It is pretty soon, but I think it's a little bit later. Like, Zaid didn't do his stuff until a little bit later with them.
So one of the fun things, like, lore-wise with tieflings is that tieflings usually have a name that, if they're given a virtue name, which means like a name that like is representative of something about themselves, they usually name themselves. And Finesse never did that. Because Finesse never felt like he had a reason to. And when he was found, he was mute, and so everybody just gave him a virtue name that they thought was fitting and figured he would rename himself someday. And I think, given everything that had happened with his family and everything that he had been thinking about, he was like, what do I want to be and what matters and why am I here? Because he was just like, I don't understand why I'm here. I'm just a juggler, was a refrain he said most of the time. And so he really felt like a completely different person by the time they were over here. Because of everything that had happened on the boat, everything that he had found out, the memories he was starting to uncover. And everybody meant so much to him and he wanted to protect them. So he renamed himself Mirth of the Dance. And made everybody these... I did a special crafting thing with Bardis where I used a lot of very specific, very special things and made everyone earrings that... One, because of the magic, like domestic magic system we were using, allows for Mirth to be able to see them like 600 feet away or something.
Yeah, it's some
crazy.
Insane amount.
And then, so he always knows where everybody is. It also gives them all like a little individualized bonus. And they get to use his inspiration once a day at any time.
Yeah, and it like upgraded when your inspiration die increased.
Yeah.
And you didn't have one.
No.
But
I had what he thought, he created it from the same materials, what he thought was a mundane earring that was made from the same thing. So he made it from, he used to have very long hair and he cut off his hair to make, like the string and like thread that he used. He also used some of the thread from his fire dancer costume, and he used the Aarakocra feather.
Yes. From Kusark.
Along with metals that we had found. So Zaid helped with some of the... Zaid actually helped with this because I needed like a tinkerer, like metal worker to make the metal earrings.
Yeah.
And for y'all, they were like cuffs. Everybody has their own individual one. But Mirth is very simple. It just looks like a small hoop with dual colored string and a feather hanging from it.
Yeah, but you could, if we hadn't used our earring for the day, because we had like once per day we could use. And
I was in dire straits or something. Yes, I could pull on one of y'all's inspirations for the day and use it for myself.
Yeah, it was so cool.
Didn't find that out until later though.
Yeah.
Those Bardis is awesome.
Those have saved our ass so many times.
Yeah, because I didn't always have the opportunity to inspire all of you, and I also needed it for my flourishes and stuff. So it was a really interesting gift. But
well, and that's always hard with like a big party, and you're the bard, and you only have a maximum of 5 inspirations a day if your charisma's capped. Yeah. So if you're going to use it for your flourishes, which are like a huge part of your fighting, then...
It wasn't until I got my master flourish, which meant that I could use a lower die and just do flourishes as many times as I wanted. But yeah, it was really nice mechanically because it allowed for y'all to have an oh shit button. But there were also really cool, like, subsequent effects. Do you remember what yours did?
Mine was that I could use my stillness of mind feature on somebody else, I think.
And I remember Dawn's had to do with shadows.
Yeah.
I believe. And I don't remember, like, Kayleen's was something having to do with his intellect as well. It was really cool because it was all really individualized.
Yeah. We all had...
Kayleen's was like an ear cuff that had all his babies on it.
Yeah. His was really pretty. I mean, they were all really pretty, but I remember, like, you describing that and being like, how do they all fit on there? It was so cool.
Yeah, so I worked on that a long time. But yeah, that was his name day. because he just felt like he wasn't Finesse the Blade anymore.
Yeah.
It was kind of it's the beginning of a very sad story for him, really. But like it just felt really appropriate.
Yeah, it was really, really special.
Mm-hmm.
I'll like, that's like one of those things in the campaign that I'll be like, I'll never forget this. Like I forget a lot of stuff, but I'll like never forget that.
Yeah, I made all of them extremely individualized, and everybody has their own descriptions and stuff. But,
yeah, they're all in our software.
Yeah, I can't see it, so
I know. Otherwise, I would just read it, but I'm sure we'll get a correction about it. So
yeah. Hey, Dragonstonners, if you guys want, just send the item description for me, and I
Please.
can read it out next time.
Yeah, that would be great. So I know that there was probably some other stuff that happened on the way to the mine, but I didn't have the information on it. So
I mean, we had that like before. So the mine was like through a valley, like a valley of the dead.
The Valley of Lost Honor, I believe it's called.
And we were parked on the edge of it. Mm-hmm. And
fear
in the dome. Yeah, it was so scary. In the dome, and hundreds of skeletons is all I remember. It was just hundreds of skeletons led by this necromancer that was on the back of this nightmare.
Yeah.
Walked up to us and was like, "What the fuck are you doing here?"
Yeah, they like knocked on the fucking dome, didn't they?
Yes.
And you were like, I guess.
No. Oh my god, that was one of the first times that like Mirth bluffed his way through something, because he was like, "Oh, hello, can I help you?" Because I made it opaque, if you remember.
Yes.
So I pretended like I couldn't see out of it. And then I stood up and talked to him and was like, "Oh, what could we possibly do for you," or whatever.
Yeah, because when you stand, you're out of the dome.
Yes,
right?
because he's tall enough, like, because the dome, the dome's only 5 feet or something like that.
Yeah, like just your head popped out.
Yeah.
You were like, hello.
Can I help you? But yeah, he bluffed his fucking way through his goddamn teeth.
Yeah, and then they left us alone.
And got him to leave us alone. Yeah. But we were surrounded by skeletons and this necromancer guy, and it was terrifying. But I just remember that moment. I don't remember what the fuck I said, because Mirth doesn't remember what he said, because he was just like, I have to get them to go away and to not think of us as a threat. And that's what I did.
Yeah, because I'm sure that NPC was like so high level. I don't know. They were scary as hell.
It was so many.
Because that was like right before, like a day or two before we got to the mine, I think.
Yes.
It was really close.
It was like we were on the southern end of that valley and needed to cross. And Musharib was like, we should not camp in the valley.
Yeah.
We should cross during the day. And so we were still in the jungle.
We
and I turned it dark green to try to make it blend in with the jungle.
But this person was just like, I can see your shit.
Yeah.
Stop it. So that was horrible.
Oh, yeah.
And then we finally got to Rakamar, and I'll say this, like, essentially we figured out something was wrong, right? But a lot of things happened before we figured that out. So we had a ton of fights in a row with no rest.
Yeah.
Right away.
So think of it like a dungeon crawl that we were doing that was so long. I just remember there being like, so we got in, we saw guards. Mm-hmm. Like, essentially that they were trying to figure out a way back in or something like that.
The dwarves?
Scouts? Yeah.
Yeah, so I know that we found there were 2 guys that were there who had come over to try and get information for everybody and figure stuff out, but they were locked away in cells.
That's right.
And had both been kind of going crazy because they were being starved. So before we got to them, we did a fight with a bunch of giant striders and their matriarch, So it was like a bunch of dinosaurs. It was the first time you cast Steel Wind Strike on because we fought a bunch of fire newts guarding that forge.
Yes.
That like huge forge in the middle.
Yeah, Steel Wind Strike, for anybody who can take that shit. It is amazing. So basically for like the cost of the spell, I teleport to 5 different places that I can see. And at each place get to do like whatever your weapon damage is.
Like a full attack.
Like a full attack.
And Mirth's attacks slap. So
it was just crazy. I was just crazy. But
it's a great 5th level spell.
Yeah. So I remember I actually like remember this very viscerally, like physically. There was a tunnel entrance that we like climbed up to, like this. We went on this like path up to, and then when we got to the entrance, there was like a bunch of different ways that we could go, and one of the ways that we could go was like covered in this mist.
Yes. And
I remember Keeleen and I trying to figure out what was going on in the mist, and it hurt.
And it was like green, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was some weird color.
And we had to like, was that when he set us on fire? I don't remember.
I have that information in here about when he set us on fire.
Okay.
So I will get to that.
And then there was another path that was like obviously occupied by those striders. Mm-hmm. And then there was another path that was like where we eventually found the prisoners.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I remember like on the map. Like, but we were in there for sessions.
So many sessions, doing all these fights back to back.
Yeah, and we weren't really resting because we knew that there were people that needed help.
Yeah, and so when we got to the 2 of them, their names were Laz and Malkar. The 2 of us, River and Mirth, you did your calming flourish, and I did with the earring, the stillness of mind thing, and we helped Malkar recover and be okay.
Yeah, because Malkar was cuckoo bananas.
Unwell.
Unwell. Yeah, he was talking to himself and like he was just not okay.
Yeah, they were both not doing okay. And so he was okay, but Laz seemed to be still in pretty bad shape.
Yeah, starving.
Yeah, they had both been starved.
One of them, they had done something to make him go crazy. Mm-hmm. Malkar, they had done something to like really set him off the deep end. And then the other one was just like doing really poorly physically.
Yeah, and so we were like, why don't you stay with us? And they were like, no, we're gonna go back, we'll be fine. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't need to come with us. We know how to hide, we know how to get back.
Yeah, because they were scouts.
Yeah, and so Malkar was like, no, like, I'll take care of him.
Because we got several missions from the dwarves' outpost. Yeah. And one of them was to find Beethan, and another one was these scouts.
Yeah. So we basically had done enough that they could leave. And so they left and started their journey back. And then down the tunnel you were mentioning, when we decided to go towards the Wormheart mine, mm-hmm. which is where the bad stuff had been coming from, that's when Kayleen caught us all on fire.
I just remember him catching everyone on fire and Mirth more being annoyed than anything else.
Yeah, because we were in that area and there were all those psychic spiders and the the Sverfneblin, which are like underdark dwarves, right? That are like evil.
I don't recall, but I remember the spiders.
Yeah, I remember that they're
like phase spiders or something.
Yeah, right? They're not cool. But he cast a firebolt into all the spider webs and caught all of them and us on fire.
Because we were in the spider webs.
Yeah, it sucked.
And he was like, this is... Because it was rough terrain and we had to move really slowly. And we were alerting all of them.
And then there were what are those enemies that are like sticky nets? Shoot. I know in this area there were the spiders, there were the evil Underdark dwarves, and then there were oh my god, it's like one word, but they wait on the ceiling.
Oozes?
No.
Gelatinous
Ropers.
cubes? Ropers. Okay.
Yes, we fought a bunch of ropers because there was like a pit. And over the pit, there were a bunch of ropers.
I do not recall this.
This is a weird thing I'm remembering right now, because I remember like River got stuck in one of them for a long time. But that was like the last thing in this area.
But we got access to, like, so we cleared out the big forge, and we had that really big matriarch fight with the dinosaurs.
Yeah. And then we fought all this stuff. Like, it was so much stuff.
Yeah. We should have rested, but at this point, like, all we had was the dome.
Yeah.
And I don't think that I could cast it again.
No, not that day.
Because I cast Steel Wind Strike.
Yeah. So I think we, like, got past all of these things and then walked a lot. Just down this tunnel where, like, we didn't really encounter much until we were able to rest. And so, like, we rested, and then I don't know how many days it took us. It wasn't as much, like, in-game or game playing time as, like, all the fights. Obviously, that took, like, sessions, like, weeks.
Yeah, it did.
But then we had our first encounter with Tinder.
I remember this.
She's like this section of the campaign, our big bad evil
it's our
lady.
Regional boss.
Yeah. And she was like in her like human form.
Yes.
Because she is, should we tell them yet what she is?
Well, that's fine. So at this point, like, because I remember that Mirth, like, it was either like a headache or like something just did not feel good around this person. And it was because she's fiendish. So she also had like the something very similar to like the touch of Rakshasa that he has was going on with her. But she was like, she came to us as like this beautiful woman who was like a sorceress or something like that.
Yeah.
And tried to talk to us, and we were like, no.
We were like, bitch, nah.
Because she was like, if you just leave it alone, then, you know, everybody will be fine. But if you don't leave it alone, then I'll destroy everyone.
Yeah, she was like, because she was like, this is my place now. Yeah, this is my mine.
This is my mine. I own it.
Yeah. And the whole point of us going there was to take the mine back for Musharib's tribe.
Yes.
So we were like, no, I don't think so.
So we did not expect to run into a person, mostly because they told us that it was a dragon.
Mystery.
But this is Tinder. This is the one of her forms as a dragon, as she can be a person, but she is a red dragon that's corrupted with like some sort of fiendish something is going on with her.
Yeah, like I remember specifically in this form, she had like red that you could see, but she also had a lot of black.
A lot of black.
Like it was much more evident in this form than in her dragon form that she was very corrupted. And you'll like this. In the words of Bartis, you handily rejected anything but kicking ass with this first phase.
Yeah, I remember she ran.
She did. Like we were killing it.
Mirth was mad during this scene because she kept trying to like mind control everyone essentially.
Yeah. And
Mirth kept blocking it.
Yeah, because Mirth is great.
I didn't block it every time, but like I just remember he's just so angry. He was like, I remember him yelling at one point. He's like, "They're mine, stop it!" Like,
I love Mirth
because she just she kept trying to like mind control everybody.
Yeah, and it was really cool. Like it was very different abilities in the different phases of her fight.
Yes.
It was so creative.
We had to be, because like we were so prepared for fire.
Uh-huh.
And in that first phase, ain't no fire.
There's no fire.
It was all like charm and like corruption type moves.
Was this part of the fight, if I remember, I think was the first time that Bartis also introduced the fun thing of like her abilities were called like swipe right and swipe left.
I don't remember when they told us, but like
that was part of her gimmick that we like loved though.
Tinder, yeah. So stupid.
It was amazing because she was definitely like, we took her seriously, but there was a lot of levity in the creation of her, which was fantastic.
Well, I think I remember being frustrated because I kept having to. So there's an ability that all bards have, but like that Mirth used has to do a counter charm dance and has to keep doing it for everybody to not be able to be or like to have advantage on being against being charmed. And I kept having to interrupt whatever I was doing to do that.
I understand. Counter charm sucks. This was like the only time if not one of the only times in the campaign you even got the opportunity to use counter charm, right?
Yes, because you all have to be able to see me.
Oh my god.
So like we were in a space where you could see me, but it really mattered.
It did.
It was a hard fight, but like then she ran away.
Yeah. And
we chased her.
Yeah, and we had to do a lot of creative stuff because there were a lot of traps.
Yes.
From there, because before then, when we were walking out of the tunnel, there was like nothing.
Yeah, and she was really confident until she wasn't.
Uh-huh.
And then there were just a ton of traps between us and her, and it gave her, like, I remember us being really worried because it was taking us so long.
Yeah.
That she was gonna recover. And this is this is where we oh, my poor little stupid bean.
Poor little bean.
So Bart's was like, nobody fell for the trap. I did. I saw that note of Bart because Bartis said something along the lines of like, nobody fell for the trap.
Y'all almost fell for the illusion trap.
Yeah, I fell for it, Bartis. If you recall. And Kayleen saved my goddamn life.
Yeah, because it was like a wisdom save, I think.
Yeah, it was a wisdom save, and it was like, so I was trying to sneak up to like get a closer look.
Because it looked like there was like a wounded young dragon sleeping on a pile of gold, essentially.
Right, and so I was like trying to get a closer look, and it was actually just a chasm. Yeah. It was just a big hole in the ground that was like 300 feet down.
Yeah, because it led to like the actual bottom of the mine.
Yes.
Which is where she made her lair.
Yeah. So I stepped forward, and I'm pretty sure Margot saved my life.
Yeah.
And that's where the notorious that we've talked about before, me only being able to move like 10 feet around or some because I had like 10 feet of fly.
Yep. She could cast fly on you, but is only 10 feet of movement speed per round.
Yeah.
But she saved your life.
She did. Like Kayleen and Margot saved me because I did fall for it.
Literally.
And I started to fall, and Margot can fly, and Margot sprayed that elixir on me and kept me from taking 300 feet worth of fall damage or whatever the fuck it was.
That would have been so much fall damage. Because it's like...
I would have died.
What is it, a D6 for every 10 feet?
I would have died. There's no way.
You would have 100% died.
I think at that point I had like 50-something health. I would have died.
You would have died.
Oh, because when we made it to like 18, I just got over
100.
Yeah. Because you remember, because it wasn't until we made the like really, really nice like cloaks that I had any sort of constitution.
Yeah, because I think you had maybe a 10?
I had a 10.
So you were adding... If you have a 10 of a stat, then it's a +0.
Yeah, every level.
It's even.
So whenever I rolled my health die, that was it.
And you rolled really low.
I did for a long time. God, I did for a long time. Yeah, so I fell for it. Kayleen slash Margot saved me, and then all of y'all found a way down, and I had to move down.
Yes.
And that's what allowed for this fight to end the way that it ended, because I wouldn't have had that spell slot left.
Yeah. And I know River's cool thing is River jumped because like he is a monk, and monks can negate a lot, if not all, fall damage they're about to take, depending on their level. I could negate a decent amount at this point, so I was like, I'm gonna jump, and I'm gonna try and jump onto the dragon because she was flying around, and she was a red adult dragon. She was not a young dragon.
No,
she was a big dragon.
Yeah, big old dragon.
So I remember he jumped and landed on her, which was cool as hell.
And Dawn could basically fire from where she was.
Anywhere.
Yeah, and then Kayleen got down there and was doing really cool stuff down there as well. But
he was using a lot of acid, I think.
I think Zaid was the one that had the most trouble, and so you were assisting Zaid in getting to the dragon.
Yeah, because she was in the air, and I wonder
she kept trying to cast heat metal on Zaid.
Yeah,
that's what really I remember. It's like she kept trying to cast heat metal on Zaid, and Zaid fucking saved every time.
Every fucking time. That motherfucker.
Because he had something that did extra damage against dragons.
Oh, didn't he have like a dragon slaying sword?
Yeah, he had a dragon slaying sword, and
so she was trying to avoid him like the plague.
Yeah, and he's got smite, you know. So like he was built to kill her.
Yeah,
essentially.
But he couldn't get to her because his run speed was so bad.
Yeah,
well, first we had to get the dragon out of the air.
And thus you find out how we got our name.
Yes, so...
Because River is a badass.
So also, if I remember, somehow I grabbed you out of the air.
Yes, you had me on the back of the dragon.
Yeah, for a while.
Because it's not like I was stuck in the air, it's just that my movement was really slow.
Yeah.
So you actually had me on the dragon for a while, and she did something, and I didn't save, and you did. And so I was kicked off. So you did drag me like most of the way down.
Oh, it's I remember. It's when I initially jumped to get onto her, I was like, can I also grab Mirth? And yes. I rolled like high enough that I could. Yes. And so, but then you're right. Like there was a save we had to make, like a dex save or something, and you didn't quite make it.
Yes.
And so then you continued to fall at your 10-foot trajectory. But then River, like Adon was, she had gotten down to the bottom and was able to shoot the dragon from wherever. But then I hit it and tried so many times to stun her.
Because it was a legendary creature, it had those legendary saves. So you had to try to stun so many times. So like we were also like throwing things at it that made it have to use up those saves.
Yes, so that we could.
I remember doing that. I was using like some low level stuff that it had to save against.
Yeah. And so finally, because y'all like, because I was the only non-caster. Mm-hmm. Everybody else besides you is a half-caster, but like everybody else had spells, and so everybody was trying to throw shit at her to get her to use her legendary resistances. And so then I finally hit her and stunned her, and so
she fell from the sky.
Yeah, because Bartis was like, if she's stunned, she can't fly.
Yeah.
So we fell down, and I didn't take any fall damage.
Yeah, you literally rode her down. It was crazy. Yeah.
So Mirth was still up in the air, swimming down. And then all of us were down there, and you're right, I do remember like grabbing Zaid, because I had insane movement, and trying to just get him to her. You had haste on you. Yeah, I did. Awesome. So I was just trying to get him to her, and it just wasn't working. Like, so many things were happening so that he couldn't hit her. And so...
But he did. Like, let's not... Like, it's not that he didn't hit her. It's that he couldn't keep toe-to-toe with her.
Yes, he was
the one who was going to kill her. Like, that was what we needed.
Yeah, because she... Like, I would get him to her. He would hit her. Like, hit the shit out of her. And then she would fly really far away. Mm-hmm. And then we got to the part of the fight where she was trying to run. Fly away.
Yep, and I counterspelled most things, but then I only had one spell slot left. that was Dimension Door because I was afraid she was going to get away.
Because it was like a 4th level, right? 4th or 5th.
And you got Zayd close enough to me. And I happened to, like, at that moment, get close enough when she started running. And I was doing math in my head.
So much math.
Trying to guess. Like, I was trying to guess, like, the trajectory of how far she was and, like, how fast she moves and all of that stuff. And then I used my best guess and named a number, and he's like, I need to know, is it this many feet or this many feet? And we ended up at her head, and then I brought Zayd with me, and he finished her.
Yeah, he smited the shit out of her face.
We just went... Can you imagine being a dragon that old, though, and, like, having these motherfuckers, like, come into your... Like, insult you, come into your lair, and then you're like, oh shit, I gotta get out of here. I'm in trouble. And then this little, like, not even worth your snot, halfling.
Not even as big as one of your claws.
Right. This little halfling comes up and goes, boo. And oh, it was such a good...
It was a great fight. The feeling after that fight,
You were like, now I understand why people play D&D.
It's like that, or like I'll always remember that. Or I remember when we started playing Lord of the Rings online, and we had our first really good fight. That, like, after at least 20 levels, like it was.
It was the dragon at the top of the.
Yes. I remember that was.
You have to use strategy. Everybody has to be doing their job.
Yeah.
And, like, you're actually working together to accomplish something.
Yeah, it was like this fight. We had to be smart. And everything that happened for a reason. And because you were so frustrated to, like, be in the air and not be able to move.
Because the thing is, like, the way that I've done Mirth, he doesn't have a ton of damage spells. Most of his spells are support. So, like, he's got, like, the tiny hut, and then he has, like, at one point he did have heals.
Yeah.
But he's got more, like, controller spells, like charm and things like that.
And, like, see invisibility and dimension door. And then later I
took some. I took spells later based on, like, things that we had gone through.
But Steel Windstrike was, like, your biggest damage spell at the time.
Yes.
Or Upcasting Shatter.
Yeah.
But you couldn't really use that in this fight because it would have...
Too far away.
Yeah, it was too far away. It would have hit us, and it would have caused, like, a cave collapse or some bullshit.
I also needed counterspell because she could cast spells.
Yeah.
So I spent most of that fight moving or counterspelling.
And, like, holding... I think you, like, held actions a lot to be like, if she comes near me, I'll hit her or whatever.
Yeah.
Or, like, if somebody needed something. But it was an insane, amazing fight. And I couldn't go to sleep for multiple hours afterwards. I think we had, like, a really long cooldown because we were all like, oh, yeah. You know?
Yeah, and then we had to, like... I think you butchered... I know that Kayleen butchered Tinder's heart.
Yes.
For making a new baby, for making George.
Yes, he, like, got... a core of her essence in that heart.
It was like a greater essence or something.
Yeah, and that's how he made his other baby, George, the little dragon.
So he took a lot of different pieces. He, along with Adon, took a lot of different pieces of the dragon.
And then I had my unfortunate dragon jerky incident.
That was so cool, though, because, like, we were... Honestly, it's part of what we based the cloak stuff off of.
Yeah, it is.
Of, like, it was essentially the jerky made you scary, like, intimidating, but it also intimidated other, like, your allies as well. So it was not good. It was not good.
And it also, like, I burned because I made stakes for us that made us, like, scary, and then I also, like, burned them. So it, like, wasn't good steak, and also, like, you and Adon were both vegetarian, but, like, you ate it because you felt bad for me.
I did.
And then I made, like, a shit ton of jerky that I, like, sold later or, like, gave to the kobolds. I don't know. That's right, because then we met the kobolds.
Because they worshipped Tinder.
Yes, because kobolds are, like... What are they? Like, they're, like, little mini... kind of related to dragons, but they worship entities usually, like big dragons or something else.
Yeah.
And so since there was a power vacuum,
and Zaid was the one that slew her,
then they worshipped Zaid.
Yeah, more on that next time.
Yeah. But there were like, what, 400 of them?
There were hundreds.
Yeah, and they like followed us.
Yeah.
It was, yeah, more on that next time for sure. But we had the dragon jerky incident, and then I know we had to rest.
Yes.
We definitely rested. And then we headed back. We had to go all the way back down the mine shaft. And we essentially decided that Undril and Musharib were going to stay at Hrakamar.
Uh-huh.
And that we were going to go back to the volcano, figure out what was...
everybody, yeah.
To tell them, like, you can go home, it's safe. And
then also to figure out what the fuck was up with the volcano.
Yeah. So that was, like, where the next part was going to take us. But I think that brought us to, like, level 10 or level 12.
I don't remember. Like, I wish that I had kept better track of, like, when those events happened, like what level we were with them. But...
Yeah, I think I've got, usually, at least later in the game, I write down when we level, but if I remember, and I can check for next time, I'm pretty sure that got us to level 12. Because we had done a lot of fights before we got there.
Yeah, that was the most fight heavy I think we were in the whole campaign.
I think so too. Like, now that we've kind of gone through that whole section, we were like only fighting.
Yeah.
Like, even with...
I think because we all wanted it. We had done all these other really interesting things, and all of us were like, I'm ready to fight things.
Yeah, you're right, because we were doing, on the boat, it was like the majority of it was RP. Mm-hmm. And character development and puzzles.
Really interesting, and puzzles and stuff, yeah.
And so then we were just like, let's fucking go. Especially because we had a bunch of new abilities.
So many. That
we hadn't been able to use in a fight scenario. And so it took us a while to get back to the mine, and then it took us a while to get back to the volcano.
With a horde of kobolds.
So many. You can't say our group isn't powerful. Or that we're not likable.
No, we're not likable.
Our likability may be questionable.
Yeah, but so that was just like the first little bit of us being down on the southern part of Cholt.
Yeah, it was a lot of weeks of gameplay.
Yeah.
But it was
we did a lot more down on that end before we gained different means of travel.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll talk more about that next time.
Yeah, but first,
a word from our characters.
Love this show? Of course you do. Want to learn more? I mean, who wouldn't? Well, you've come to the right bard. This is Mercutius Market with your host, me, Mercutia Claudius Titania Banquo Ulysses Falstaff. And yes, I did make the name myself. If you have questions for your wonderful hosts or me or anyone else you heard on the podcast, but mostly me, email us at queerdicerolls, that's ROLES, at Obroris, that's OBRORIS, archives.com. If you wish, you can send these poor, tired queers the funds for their iced oat lattes through our Ko-fi, Queer Dice Rolls. Be sure to follow us on all your favorite platforms. If you'd like to peruse these or any other links, check out our link tree. This week, we want to thank Bartis and Buck for all of their corrections, and especially Bartis for their endurance through great technological error. You're gorgeous, and we love you. That's all for now, but I'll be back next week. Ta-ta!
You've been listening to Queer Dice Rolls with Flynt and Lena.
What was your first memorable gaming boss fight?
Don't forget to send us a message on Instagram or Buzzsprout. We'd love to hear from you.
The two of us will be back next week with the continuing tale of the Dragon Stunners.
But until then, take this inspiration die, just in case.
Bye, y'all.